Hi. I got nothing. So, hey, how we doing? It's been 2 years since we did our last video. We were trying to figure out like why we were coming back. We missed you a lot. I think that's probably the biggest reason. We stopped doing the videos like 2 years ago, and then we just let it run on Facebook, or where are we doing it? YouTube. And next thing you know, we started to get like more subscribers. People were commenting. There's like countless questions about a lot of things. Oh, yes. Thank you for that. BB says hello as well. She's back there. She's being awkwardly quiet. Like I'm in front of the camera and she's the one nervous, as usual. Yeah, we missed you guys. And reality is like over the last 2 years, I was like watching a lot of these other videos of, other guys that speak about relationships and life and all this stuff. And I don't know. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. I think there's like some good ones, right? But there's like specific ones that I just can't stand. I feel like they're giving just unbelievably bad information. You call it what, clickbait? Is that what the kids say?
Yes.
Yeah. So clickbait. Like, and they're saying things that are triggering, or they take some kind of like specific information that's actually good and they throw it in there, and people are like, wow, this guy's really smart. And then all of a sudden you go and watch them or listen to them, and they're talking about like how women should do everything a man says, and that women are second, and all these things like that, which in theory is maybe correct, but in practice it's not. So I don't know. We've been watching a lot of these videos, and she decided that we need to do something, right? We need to actually say some things and start the videos again because we enjoy it. It's kind of like our therapy. And we don't do this for, money or anything. Like we do this specifically because we enjoy doing it, and we have, other businesses and things like that bring us the money. And this is what we do to help, and just kind of throw our good stuff or good juju out in the world. I'm going to try and not cuss as much. I don't know how much that's going to fucking work, but it's true. It's like we had a comment about, how the video would be so good if you didn't cuss so much. And I was like, all right, who fucking cares? Like that's kind of how I felt about it. Anyway, so what we're going to continue to do, and what we decided to do, is this channel, these videos are specifically about like, kind of like empowerment to yourself, and as corny as that sounds, but like taking responsibility for yourself, and stop looking out into the world as like those are the problems, which I've noticed is quite prevalent nowadays, and it maybe has always been. And then also when people do look at themselves, like these other guys talk about certain things like this, when you do look at yourself, trying to keep that within balance as well, right? So it's like not everything's my fault, right? Or everything is their fault. The reality is that we live in a gray world, right? Everything is gray. So there's variations of who's at fault and how much they're at fault and how much I'm at fault. And, it's finding balance within that. We will present problems, but also present solutions to these problems. That's a lot of what I felt like was missing in a lot of these videos. Is people would say, you need to take ownership, and you need to do this, and be a man, or be tough, or be a woman, and push through it, or whatever. It's like, okay, great, but like, how do you do that? This is what I felt like was missing. So I'm just going to kind of say a lot of the things that I do, that BB does, to maneuver through these little areas of life. And my past and when like I dated and how I maneuvered through that. Surya and her past and when she dated and how she maneuvered through that. Previous relationships, whatever, right? Like, so kind of everything's on the table with this, which is also our thing that we felt like we need to be brutally honest with y'all, specifically because if we're not, then you're not going to trust us, which means that the information is not going to come through. Again, that's something that I feel is missing, right? From a lot of what's out there right now. There's a lot of dog shit information out there, and there's a lot of people that are specifically trying to make money or build their ego or whatever it is. And there's no real empathy or emotion linked in with the intellectual quality of what they're saying, right? If that makes sense. So like it's kind of like a combination of your emotions and the knowledge of like what is going on and what I should do. And then how do I maneuver my emotions and how do I sync those two things? And then where do I go with it, right? Like how do I use those two things to maneuver forward and become calmer and, a more mature person when it comes to, the world. So that's pretty much like what we want to, the next set of videos are going to be about this kind of stuff. We'll field tons of questions. Please ask questions, whatever you want to ask. We're pretty open to pretty much anything. You can ask about us. You can ask about your relationships and like what you're going through, and maybe some questions on like how do you get through it or like what's going on. It's funny, like our most popular videos were, why doesn't he call me after sex? I'm in love with an alcoholic. I was, right, an alcoholic. If some people say you still are, whatever. I don't drink. I don't do any drugs or anything. It's been a while now. So I have a certain angle on that. So if you want to ask some questions about that, for sure. And I've been a completely irresponsible child as a man. So if you want to ask questions about that. So I have a decent perspective on how immature men navigate the world and navigate relationships or women. So that's always a good question too. And then anything else you can possibly think of. But we're really just happy to be back. And I'm happy to be speaking to you. And I'm just excited about what's to come. So BB as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, however you want to say it. So anyways, that's the end, and then we'll field your questions and we'll answer those questions and we'll come out with some new videos. So thank you so much, and we're so happy to be back.